Dave's Broken Diamond Club, written by Unda New Neon, voice acted by Nerdhilistic. Content warning: this story is rated for audiences teen and up. Contains canon-typical graphic depictions of violence, physical and mental. Chapter 3, Till Him, The Producers. Nathan Lane and Matthew Brodick won Joint Pale Performance Award at its debut. No one ever made me feel like someone till him. Life was really nothing but a glum one till him. My existence bordered on the tragic, always timid, never took a chance. Then I felt his magic, and my heart began to dance.
I was always frightened, fraught with worry, till him. I was going nowhere in a hurry, till him. He filled up my empty life, filled it to the brim. There could never ever be another one like him.
This is M.
This is J.
I guess we should say,
Yeah.
You can't see me gesture.
No.
Hi,
I was gonna say.
I'm J.
And I'm M.
And we're good at introductions.
So good. Just the most natural,
Yeah.
I think, introduction that's ever been done in the history of podcasting.
Really cohesive.
You can tell we've only listened to Mabim Bam.
Oh, called out.
I mean, that's intentional to a certain level, but Griffin is the fucking master of awkward introductions and pauses.
It's true. I guess we'd better leave that to the master then.
Mm.
We have our water. We have our wits. Want to begin us, M?
Yes. A week after Dave and Carcat solidified their relationship in whatever it was they were in, you see him again. All you know from Carcat is they'd both agreed to block off both pitch and flush for each other and let it flip, vacillate and wander as it went. With their mutations, it was hardly likely either of them would be open to anyone else anyway, so it seemed to work. You had been worried that Dave might act weirdly around you after you finding out about him being a mutant and taking the chance to trust you with that information. But a week after all that went down, you found Dave sat outside of your building busking again, acting all chill about it. When you come back from the shopping you'd needed to do, he's still there. You invite him up and he comes along easily. You wonder if that had been what he was hoping for. You watch a movie of his choice with him and find that he talks the whole way through movies that he likes, but his commentary is entertaining enough that you don't mind. He's not leaning against you the whole time, but he's close enough that you can feel how warm he runs. He sleeps over, but insists on sleeping on your lounge plank again. When you awake, he's gone, and unsurprisingly, there's a note again. Hey man, thanks for the movie. Thanks for everything. You've been really cool. See ya. Dave.
This time it's in bright red ink, just like his blood. You save the note. You're a sentimental fucker, it seems. He does it a few times, dropping by without really dropping by. You wonder if he can't work up the nerve to knock on your door since he kissed you. One time he's started slumping against your side and his claws are picking a hole in his jeans at his knee. The sound is distracting you, and he probably shouldn't ruin his clothes anyway. You reach out and catch his wrist, feel the warm, hammering pulse there.
His name is Deontay Strider,
Dave says, as if the act of touching him startled the words out. He seems as surprised as you to hear them. Who?
You ask in bafflement, but you can guess from the same last name that it's someone with a connection to him. Mine and Dirk is Ancestor. He's an adult, off-world. Arlucis Cal still has control over him. He's the one who sends us those boxes.
Dave says, staring dead ahead. Your fingers linger on the soft skin of his inner wrist, and something tells you that if you push too hard on this, he'll pull away. He's like one of those finger trap toys. If you try too hard, you'll be stuck forever, but be gentle, and it'll be okay. What does he want from you?
You ask carefully. Fuck if I know, that guy's motives are shady as all hell. Part of it's supposed to be training, but I don't...
Dave cuts off by shaking his head. That sucks,
you comment, resting your head on the backrest of your lounge plank. It really fucking does,
he agrees. You know you can stay here whenever, you know?
You offer, after a moment, still tracing a vein in his wrist with your finger. I'm not a stray meow beast,
he protests, pulling away. I know. But I also know you avoid your hive plenty and you crash with friends. I'm just saying you can do that here whenever. I'll message you all the codes to the doors. Sometimes if I'm too absorbed in things I don't notice to answer, so...
You pause, looking at him. Dave half looks like he's going to bolt.
You don't have to use them. It's just the door isn't locked to you. You don't have to knock.
You offer. That might have been too far. You switch your gaze back to the TV and feel regret roil hot inside you like snakes. You had just thought about being slow and careful with him and then offered him the key to your home. What the hell?
Come with me if you want to leave. That's not the voice. I didn't realize what I was saying till I said it.
Come with me if you want, you fucks. Oh, yuck.
Oh, yuck. The future is Five Nights at Freddy's Terminators. They're the worst kind.
Crossed with Goofy.
Oh, God.
Should I go for Schwarzenegger?
Do it, please.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Neither of us were prepared for this.
I need to hear it. That's not the right guy.
Terminator, right?
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
Come with me if you want to live. Come with me if you want to live. Come with me if you want to live.
Come with me if you want to live.
Come with me if you want to live.
We get it.
Come with me if you want to live.
The robot on screen says with a stiff accent. Where is he even meant to be from?
You mumble, sinking lower down. The future,
Dave says, after a second or two of silence. That's not a place with an accent.
You argue. Dave huffs a quiet laugh and slides against your side again. Your blood pusher swells, fit to burst when his fingers slide in between yours.
He's gone by moonrise, as always, but he leaves a note thanking you for the company. You send him the keys to your place anyway.
You don't expect him to use them so soon, and you certainly don't expect him to bring anyone with him. You're partway through your code compiling when your front door bangs open. You leap up, psionics at the ready, and rushing out into the main room only to see Dave struggling to haul a bigger, older troll into your home. Help!
He yelps, and you pull the guy from him and drop him on the floor. You quickly shut the door behind him. What happened? Are you hurt?
You ask desperately, stepping over the prone troll to get to Dave. You catch him by the shoulders and look him over. He seems mostly fine. I'm fine. A few bumps and scrapes. It's him I'm worried about.
Dave insists, pointing at the troll on the floor. You give him a look and realize that he's the olive blood you saw before, who gave Dave the message to go to the sea. He's bleeding all over and has 3 shurikens sticking out of one thigh. What happened to him?
You ask as you help Dave haul the guy onto your lounge plank. Now it's apparent that Dave wants this guy helped and not hurt. One of my fucking Ancestor's crates. Adventure Moron here decided to open it on his own and it literally blew up in his face.
Dave complains. Right. Well, I can help you patch him up.
You nod. Thanks.
Dave sighs gratefully, and you walk off to get your medical kit as you try to suppress the delighted internal squeal about him trusting you enough to come to you for this.
Come on, JF. Wake up. Stay with me here.
Dave urges the guy as he shakes him. Did he hit his head?
You ask, kneeling on the floor. We may have both fallen down a lot of stairs in an attempt to avoid the worst of the explosion. I'm just better at not landing on my head,
he answers, and takes the antiseptic and a strip of adhesive sticking wound dressers from you and starts to tend the smaller wounds. More head trauma is probably not the answer to that problem, then.
You point out, and Dave seems to concede your point.
You tug Jech a little further down so his stabbed leg is well and truly away from your stainable furnishings, and you carefully rip the fabric of his green pants away from the wound. They're in deep, but not too deep. Not deep enough that removing them will cause life-threatening gushing from the wounds. You pull them out all at once, douse them in antiseptic, and that sure gets a reaction from the guy, even if it's just a moaned protest. You staple the wounds up as quick as you can and wrap a tight bandage around while trying not to cut off the circulation and inadvertently tourniquet the guy's leg off.
I've got to troll Roxy about this in a sec. Jech only came with me because Durka was too sick to go. He and Durka are mates Spritz, and if I don't tell her what happened, they're both gonna get hella worried.
Dave explains as he scrubs at Jech's scraped elbow. I'm not gonna get that lunatic showing up here, am I?
You groan. Fuck no, he's way too sick for that. Roxy isn't even letting him out of her room. She's waiting on his sick-ass prong and nub. That's the thing with giving yourself artificial gills. Any illness that affects your chest just devastates the dude. What a dweeb.
Dave sighs and shakes his head. Well, he should be fine. I'm gonna get him something in case he throws up from the head injury.
You tell him and go to do just that. Sick.
Dave comments as he types away on his palm husk, managing to be both gross and unhelpful. You find a large bowl that Aradia brought around one time that she'd tried to bake a cake with you and proved that neither of you could do that. You shove down the sting and place it on the floor by the lounge plank and usher Dave out of the way so you can get Jake laid out properly.
She says to keep her updated, but she's glad he's mostly okay.
Dave informs you, evidently done with messaging. Good. He's really out, isn't he?
You note, snapping your fingers in front of the face of the passed-out older guy. Yeah, he landed pretty hard on his head. He was incoherent already when I scooped him up and started on my way here, but by the time I even got to your door...
Dave shakes his head. We can't really do much else for him. You did everything you could.
You tell him quietly, and crouch down by Dave on the floor. The way he's curled in on himself tells you everything about how guilty he feels that the guy is hurt. He's a good guy. I like him. When I was little, he tried teaching me how to shoot a gun.
Dave says softly. I didn't know that was your Spethibus.
You say in surprise. It's not. He just let me borrow it to see if it'd suit me, but I'm a sword guy like Durka. Well, and psionics. If I want to hit something far away, I'll just throw stuff with my brain.
Not that I've really seen you do that, either. You seem to just use it to boost your dumbass ninja moves.
You say flatly. It's a good use for it.
Dave argues. It's really not, but it's also hardly your place to say.
Besides, you're the only person I know with the same kind of telekinesis, so it's not as if I could do anything but work it out myself.
He says. Well, if you ever want to be humiliated in a contest of strength by the best psionic, my door is always open.
You tease him, and he elbows you. Were you doing something before I got here? You don't need to entertain me or anything. I'm the one imposing on you here.
Dave says seriously. It's fine, and I was just compiling some code. It's probably done now.
You answer. Well, go on then.
Dave snorts and shoves you away. You hold up your hands in surrender and walk back to your block.
Fuck, your code isn't compiling at all. You must have some kind of error in there. You scowl at the screen like it insulted your Lucis and drop into your chair so you can try to hunt down the mistake and kill it. That evidently takes you some time because Dave appears in your doorway blocking the light coming in from the main room. Oh, whoa.
He breathes in awe, making you look up. He's not looking at you or your binary mainframe, but rather the chalkboards on your walls, the scrawled code ideas that you write out longhand sometimes to think them through. You're pretty sure it makes you look like a crazy person, which, while not wrong, isn't something you want him to think of you.
So you're kind of a genius, then.
Dave says, turning around to look at all of it. It's not...
You choke out, your face burning. Why does he have to be so nice to you? Doesn't he know he's going to kill you if he keeps up with that? Your blood pusher will just explode. It will be both tragic and gross. Shut up. Can I sit here? Jayach isn't exactly the best company.
Dave asks. You nod, and Dave settles happily down onto your floor and pulls out his husk top. Unsure of what else to do, you get back to your own work. Dave's making music, but he's doing it with his headphones on. Still, the mumbling and quiet humming that comes from him as he does his thing is a pleasant kind of background noise.
After a while, Dave shuffles over so that he can lean his back against the legs of your desk instead of just hunching over on the floor. You're pretty sure that he's not making music any longer. He didn't pull his turntables over with him and his headphones are around his neck instead. I meant to say...
Dave says slowly.
Thanks for the car cat thing.
Oh, it's fine. It was starting to be like watching a bug fly into a window over and over. Plus, it just seemed dumb to let you snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
You tell him. Yeah, but you knew about him. Being like me, I mean.
Dave says seriously, and you look down. Yeah?
You say. But you still didn't tell me, and you hadn't told him about me when I got there.
Dave points out. You stop typing and turn your chair around a bit to face him properly. When I found out about him ages ago, I swore I wouldn't tell, same as I did with you. I wasn't gonna break that promise, but it made me pretty fucking sure that the two of you would be fine with each other when you found out.
You explain. Dave taps his fingers on the keys of his keyboard, not typing anything, but more like it's a nervous habit. He's frowning and chewing on his lip. It's just... no one knows about my ancestor, or Durka. Durka, Roxy, Jayech, and Jane don't know about my other friends, and they don't know about them. I mean, Karkat, Roj, John, and Jaded know that my Lucis sucks, so I don't go home much, but they don't know why. I keep all that shit separate, secret. Not 'cause I have to, but it's just easier, safer, whatever. But you know, and you knew about me being a mutant, and you knew it was safe to tell, but you didn't.
Dave says slowly. You don't know what to say. You had suspected that no one else had that connection between his separate groups, but it wasn't confirmed. And of course you don't know what he does and doesn't say to Karkat. The outright stating that as a fact is just... you can hardly wrap your think sponge around it. And he knows how much you know, but still comes back to you.
That's cool of you.
Dave finally says, and you nod, swallowing thickly. Dave nods like that's settled the whole thing, and goes back to actually messaging someone. The hint of gray you can see from this angle, suggests Karkat. I should have a shower. Don't touch my shit.
You tell him, getting up. I'll order pizza when you go. What do you like?
Dave asks, not even looking up. Not fish. Spicy is good.
You say. Got it.
Dave nods, and you escape from your own block to go hide in your ablution block. Twin Armageddons began trolling Carcinogeneticist. To be upfront, if you breathe a word about this to anyone else, I will fucking burn your hive down with you inside. Clear?
See, I got the school feeding for wigglers who weren't repeatedly bounced headfirst on the floor, and we got the social modules that explained that opening a conversation with overblown threats of arson isn't polite.
Fuck polite, and also, relatedly, you.
Look, dumbass, over the sweeps we've known each other, we have both said some terribly mortifying shit. Any attempts at double-crossing each other at this point would probably be mutually assured destruction. Besides, I like you most of the time, and I'm under the impression that you're entirely to blame for me currently dating Dave, so the font of my generosity here runneth over.
Wow, getting laid really does wonders for your mood, huh, KK?
Not that you'd know. How hard is it to get all that yellow off your palms anyway? Surely repeated and sad exposure stains them.
Wow, go fuck yourself.
I've recently outsourced that, actually.
Shit. You're the actual worst. But I'm going to ignore that because I seriously need to talk about this. I think I've contracted some kind of fatal disease here. If Dave is sweet and pitiable and perfect in my presence much more, I think it will actually kill me. I will die from this.
I warned you about this. I told you it'd happen. Fuck, Dave's stupid memes are rubbing off on me. What the fuck?
What am I supposed to do here?
How the hell should I know? Dave was the one who made the first move on me, and he only came back because of you. Don't get me wrong, if he makes a move on you and then comes to me about it, I will absolutely point him back your way, but otherwise I don't really see what I can do for you.
You mash your palm husk into your face for a moment. You don't want to tell him about the kiss, or do you? But it feels like a violation of trust. It was private, and Dave never spoke of it again, and he's not done anything like it since. It was probably just an impulse thing. You sigh and look at your chat again. I know. I'm just pity-struck, I guess.
I know the feeling. But if it's any consolation, he seems to like you a lot. Dave doesn't spend time with people he doesn't like. You're friends, at least.
I don't really want to think of that as a consolation. I just wish I was his moirail.
I know.
Okay. I should actually shower like I said I would instead of hiding in here from him talking to you.
Wait, he's with you right now and you've locked yourself in a different room? You're a goddamn hopeless disaster. Go talk to him.
No, I will. I'm not scared of him or something stupid like that, but I said I was going to shower, so I should. Also, I'm not sure I can remember when I last actually showered, so I should probably do that anyway.
Wow, also gross. But hey, his mere presence is shaping you into a functional fucking troll almost fit for respectable society, and you're not even together. Maybe it is a match made in the stars.
Oh, fuck off, you waste of skin. Twin Armageddon's ceased trolling carcinogeneticist.
You throw your palm husk in the sink and shuck off your gross clothes and shower. You try to keep it short, given that you've wasted a bunch of time already in talking to Karkat. You feel more like a person when you step out, and you can't help but laugh that you find a message from Karkat asking if you're still friends.
When you come back out into your block, Dave isn't there. You distantly hear the sound of the front door shutting, and you have a dumb moment of worry that he's somehow bailed. Ignoring that, you go back into the main room to find Dave balancing a pizza box in one hand and leaning over Jake.
Do you think if I dropped a slice on his face, he'd wake up?
Dave wonders aloud. I think that you'd be dropping one of your slices on his face for that experiment.
You answer, flicking the box open. Dave makes a sound that suggests he's curious, but not sacrifice a slice of his own pizza kind of curious.
It's a pretty weird combination of toppings. You're reasonably sure Dave just picked whatever thing he thought sounded interesting, but you've certainly had worse. You must have been pretty hungry, because you're 3 slices down when you realize that he's wearing different clothes. In fact, that's one of Karkat's sweaters he has on. That's not yours,
you say in surprise. Terezi assures me that possession is 9/10 of the law. Also, Karkat ripped one of my shirts, so I stole one of his to make it fair. Besides, what I was wearing when I came here had Jayek blood on it.
Dave grimaces a little at that last part. You're not going to ask how or why Karkat was ripping Dave's clothes. You don't want to know, especially given how agreeable Karkat is being, more or less anyway. I have a laundry machine, you know,
you point out. I know, you nearly blinded me next to it recently.
Dave says in response, because he's a little shit. You flip him off in response and keep talking. You can throw him into my laundry machine, not like you're going anywhere with him anytime soon,
you say, waving at Jayek's still passed-out body on your lounge plank. You don't gotta go doing my laundry. I usually just go bum around Durka and Roxy's until one of them feels bad for me and does it for me,
Dave says. Wasn't offering to do it for you. I just said you could use mine. And wow, really, an heiress to the whole empire washes your gross, sweaty clothes?
You say in disbelief. I know, and I'm a mutant too. It's downright heretical. I'm just the most subversive there is.
He brags with a flash of toothy grin. I think you're just kind of lazy,
you snort. Ouch,
Dave says. Truth hurts,
you snicker. The two of you finish off the pizza together in companionable conversation, and the friendly kind of insulting back and forth that all your closest friends are good at. You both check on your guest's wounds, then Dave actually does do some laundry, though you suspect it's just to prove to you that he can and isn't just waited on prong and nub by the heiress. He showers, and you wrestle your code some more. Then you end up stealing a bunch of cushions from various chairs and make a DIY lounge plank. It's not a pile. It's not. And sit on that against the outside of your bifurcated coon and watch Troll Ninja Warrior together on your husk top.
Dave starts yawning, and at first you don't say anything, but you can't help but do so when he starts slumping against your side more and more, and his shades slip down his nose enough that you can see how slow his blinks are becoming, like each time it's harder to open his eyes again. Okay,
you say, shutting down your husk top.
Time to sleep.
Okay.
He yawns. Red or blue?
You ask, standing up and offering him a hand up. Dave just looks up at you in sleepy confusion.
Which side do you want? I switch all the time, unsurprisingly, so I don't mind,
you explain, gesturing to your coon and the tinted slime within. Oh, nah, man, I'll just sleep here,
Dave says with a shake of his head, and pats the cushion that he's already sat on. You're going to sleep on the floor next to my coon? The coon that has 2 totally separate sides to it, and one would be completely free,
you say.
Dave looks at it, and then back to you.
It's cool. You sleep deeper and sober is all.
He shrugs. Yeah, idiot, that's the point.
You exclaim.
Wait.
Oh no. There might be something there. Dave sleeps at other people's hives all the time, but never in Soper, always out of it, so he sleeps slightly and probably restlessly enough that he gets up before anyone else and leaves. He's sleeping on high alert, aware and prepared to defend himself.
I wouldn't hurt you.
You tell him, and he almost jumps at the words, like he didn't expect you to be so outright about it.
We're friends, and you've helped me so much already. Why would I? And even if I wanted to, I could kill you with my brain in a second. I sure as shit don't need to wait for you to be asleep to do it.
You add. Laying out how you'd kill me is supposed to be reassuring, huh?
Dave asks. My point is that if you think you not sleeping in Soper is going to help with that, you're wrong. So you may as well sleep well and make me not feel like a shitty host. So, red or blue?
You ask again. Dave stares you down, but one of the perks of having eyes like yours is it makes you hard to beat in that kind of contest. He opens his mouth, but no words come out, even though you can all but see the excuses flying through his mind, or worse yet, the actual reasons he doesn't feel alright enough to trust you, and no answer that he says could possibly not make you pity him more.
The sleeping out of Soper, the quick exits, he feels he has to do that. You're not actually his moirail. You shouldn't be trying to gently push him into things that are good for him. You don't have to. I'm gonna go brush my teeth.
You say awkwardly and back off. You slope away and lock yourself in your ablution block and curse at yourself for being such a dumbass. You glare at your reflection as you scrub your disastrous dentition. You can hear the soft sound of Dave muttering to himself from the other side of the door, and when you shamefully emerge, you're surprised to see Dave down to his boxers and sat on the edge of your coon on the red side. He's looking down at the Soper slime like it might eat him alive, and he startles to hear you come in.
Well, okay then. You peel off your shirt, but you must confess that you're less concerned with him seeing you, and more of what you can see of him. His back is covered with dusty-colored scars and old bite marks that don't match any troll mouth. Your money is on his lusus. Far more recently, there's more scratches on his skin. Faint red scratches that are basically healed over, but given the placement of them and how they're very obviously from someone's claws, you're pretty sure you know who he got those from. The same goes for the darkened bite on his collarbone.
Dave bites his lip and cautiously puts his foot in the Soper as you clamber gracelessly out of your jeans. It's been a really long time since I've had Soper,
Dave explains, and you slide into your half without any of the trepidation Dave has. You don't have to. It just seemed dumb for you to be on the floor when there's space in here.
You say. It seems that a good way to get Dave to do something is apparently to tell him that he shouldn't or doesn't need to do it because he drops himself in all at once at your words, nearly dunking his head under in the process. He scrambles wildly for the edges and throws one arm over the side. Deeper than I thought it was.
Dave gasps. Maybe you're just short.
You snort and stretch your back out, reveling in the glorious weightlessness of the Soper and how your poor posture pole is finally unburdened from your shitty desk chair-induced pose. Well, maybe you should just, go jam your bulge in your silicone server with the bees. And they'd be all, hey, this is probably honey, what with the color and all, and then eat it off and you'd be bulgeless and that'd... Bees don't eat honey, do they? Wow, this is strong.
Dave rambles, his words becoming woozy as he talks. It really isn't. You're just not used to it.
You laugh and reach out to his intact horn and press it just enough so that his head lolls over onto the arm he has out over the side. You don't want him going face down in this stuff. He turns his head a little and ends up with a smear of blue from your arm on his temple. Will you wake me up when you get up?
He asks with a yawn. You nod in response. Even if he could do with the sleep, he's probably not cool with being out cold when others are awake.
You slip a little deeper into your Soper. Dave's pupils have blown wide in his eyes, and he's obviously struggling to stay awake. Do you think I'm a jerk?
Dave slurs slightly, shuffling closer to your side. What?
You say in bafflement. I just kissed you and bailed, and then I was gone, and when I'm here, I'm just stupid. And you know about Cal and Dirka and Roxy, and I'm not just doing this to keep you on my side or make you...
Dave mumbles, struggling to articulate his thoughts. You stare at him. The thought that he could have been manipulating your pretty obvious affections for him in order to keep his secrets hasn't even occurred to you. He's starting to talk again, but before you can get anything even close to coherent out, you press your hand to his mouth. You're tired, and clearly kind of high. You'll probably thank me tomorrow for shutting you up. And I didn't think that.
You tell him. You take your hand away, and wonder of wonders, the nonsense has stopped. Dave just gives you a sleepy kind of half-smile and slumps down over his arm which is now more or less hanging into your blue side. You instead settle down against the back of your coon and let yourself drift off to a dreamless sleep.
Unlike Dave, who is unused to Soper and sleeps like the dead, you've always been a relatively restless sleeper anyway, prone to insomnia and light sleep. There's a reason you write all up your chalkboard and your walls, because you're awake when you shouldn't be, and you refuse to get Soper all in your computer keys.
So needless to say, you snap awake when the door is kicked open and you reflexively have the intruder slammed up against the ceiling before you're even properly awake. You clock the pistols pointed at you and fling them far away, leaving your attacker unarmed. It's Jayvhe, and he is not pleased at all.
Unhand me, you wretch!
He shouts.
Not fucking likely.
You hiss, hauling yourself out of your coon.
What are your intentions in bringing me here? I'll tell you nothing, you fiend!
He insists, struggling against you.
I didn't bring you anywhere. Dave brought your ungrateful ass here and we patched you up, but I'm considering the merits of throwing you out the window and letting you deal with your shit on your own.
You threaten, standing your ground and dripping blue Soper on the ground.
Dave?
Jayvhe asks, craning his neck to look behind you.
Oh, fuck! I rather feel I may have made a hoof beast's ass out of myself here. I didn't realize you two were... that he was... oh dear!
Jayvhe babbles, his demeanor instantly changing. You drop him to the ground, which makes him yelp loudly in pain. Those injuries aren't fun, after all. And then you psionically shove him back into the main room and slam the door after him. Turning on your heel, you face the still blissfully asleep Dave. You reach out and grab him on his bare shoulder, jostling him gently to wake him up. And then a fair bit harder, because he really is out cold.
Dave, wake up!
You finally shout, and his eyes sleepily flutter open.
Dave grunts.
Wake up!
You tell him again, wrapping your arms around his chest and hauling him up. Dave's head lolls down and he jolts in alarm. You feel the startled suck of breath rush into his chest, and you suddenly click. Red. Like Karkat, he's hid his color his whole life. Seeing something damn close to it must be startling.
It's just Soper. You're not hurt.
You assure him gently. I didn't think it was blood. You don't know that. Maybe I thought it was jizz.
Dave laughs weakly. Okay, fine. He's awake. You let go, and he drops back into the Soper with a yelp.
Reported. Blocked.
Dave says, his mouth only just above the Soper. Shut up. Your stupid guest is here and he tried to shoot me.
You argue, and that at least gets Dave taking you seriously. He pushes up out of the Soper himself and swings a leg over the side. Really? Shit, we should have left him a note or something. You're not hurt, right? He didn't break anything? Hurt your bees?
Dave asks and drops onto the floor. His genuine worry for you and your home takes the edge off your irritation, and you relax slightly. My reflexes are faster than that. Besides, he's about as subtle as a bomb.
You sneer at the mere memory of Jayvhe thinking he could outdraw you. Ain't that the truth? I should,
Dave starts to say, making to walk out into the main room. Not track Soper through my hive and instead go shower.
You say flatly. It's like you just read my mind.
Dave replies innocently, hastily altering the path that he's taking and veering towards the shower. When he's in there, you keep an ear out for Jayvhe, but he doesn't seem to be making any noise out there. With nothing else to scrutinize, you can't help but see the places on your skin where the two colors of Soper have mixed together, which is a pain, and half the reason you have to replace the stuff as frequently as you do. Dave returns dressed in his own shirt again, and then you shower as fast as you can. It's not fast enough, though, because as you're shoving your legs into your jeans and tripping over the rolled-over cuffs, you can already hear the two of them talking. You come out just in time to hear some argument between them coming to its peak.
We're just friends.
Dave snaps at him. Oh, ouch. It's true, but still.
Jake seems to spot you coming in and pulls his attention off of Dave and onto you.
I'm terribly sorry for the inconvenience. I had a fine way of thanking you for the help that you gave me. I do apologize. Please let me introduce myself properly. I'm Jake English,
he says, getting to his feet and favoring his undamaged leg to do so. He holds out his hand, but you don't take it, instead sticking by your block door and vaguely waving at him. Yeah, hi,
you say.
I really should be getting back. I'm sure Dirk is going to be worried about me.
Jake says.
Shit, yeah. I'll come with you on the train. Your ass might be old, but you're obviously hurt. Don't want some opportunistic fuck taking a shot at you, and then, Roxy, Dirka, and Jane will go full-on murder squad.
Dave says sensibly. All right.
You nod. Dave turns to look at you. Even with his glasses on, you know he is. He frowns a little, but it's whatever.
Actually, before I go, could I get my guns back?
Jake asks hopefully, and you turn to pull them psionically towards you. You drop them into Dave's hands rather than Jake's. You trust him with weapons in your hive, but not exactly your new guest.
Right, we should bounce. Thanks again, Solix.
Dave thanks you.
Yes, it really was right gentlemanly of you. I'll just... Here, if you ever need a favor or somewhere to crash for the day and you're down on the eastern forested peninsula, just give me a shout and I'll happily settle up with you.
Jake says, fishing out some paper and scribbling his troll tag on there and handing it to you. Oh, thanks. I think I know someone else who lives out there too, but I thought it was pretty empty down that way.
You say slowly. Jaded lives that way as far as you know. You've spoken to her more since you got your plant, and she's nice. Sometimes she reminds you of Aradia in a bittersweet sort of way, but she's different enough that you can deal with talking to her and not feel too bad about it.
It is, and that's just how I like it. Lots of lovely outdoors, friendly wildlife, adventure, that's the ticket.
Jake says brightly, and you figure that, yeah, this is someone bonkers enough to be in one of Dirka's quadrants.
Dave shoos him out, and with a final goodbye to you, he goes as well. You scrub at your face with your hands and try to remember that you're supposed to be keeping your shit together. That you know you're not his morail and you like being his friend,
There's a knock from the door. Confused as to who it might be, seeing as Dave only just left, you open the door to find Dave there, on his own. He slips inside and leans against the door.
Hey, so, that Soper thing?
He says quickly. Yeah?
You say. It made me a little...
He trails off. Hi?
You suggest, and Dave laughs. Just one breathy little quiet thing, but it makes you glow to hear it. Yeah, I guess. I remember you making me shut up, though, because I started on that whole word vomit thing of dumbassery, which was actually pretty cool of you, so thanks. But I like you, okay?
Dave blurts out, and he looks as startled as you to have said it, but before you can get a word in, he steamrolls on with the conversation.
And it's total bullshit because you help me out all the time with that shit with my Lucis and Dirka, not to mention not saying anything about them and Roxy to anyone, or my crazy goddamn ancestor, and it's just like, fuck, what if he thinks I, just to keep him quiet, like, fuck, man, that's fucked up.
He babbles. I'd never even considered it,
you say firmly. Even though you know about me being a mutant? I mean, people do dumber shit to survive. You didn't think I'd done that?
He challenges you, like he wants you to think the worst of him, to validate his fears or something. Shit, you know what that feels like. You've felt unlovable and lashed out at people until you made them despise you. You saved my life. It's not like this is one-sided,
you point out. I talked to a few people about a plant. That's not the same.
Dave mutters. Dave,
you say quietly. I should go.
He says, shaking his head, but then doesn't move or go anywhere. You open your mouth to comment, but your ability to bring words into existence is rudely halted when Dave reaches out a hand to you. His claws skim the column of your throat, feather light, and curl into the collar of your shirt. When he pulls, it's so gently that he moves himself just as much as he pulls you to him. He kisses your cheekbone in the same place that he did last time, but it's not rushed or hit and run like the last one. He lingers for a few full beats of your delighted blood pusher. He pulls back, his face dark and his gaze cast down at the floor.
Yeah.
He mumbles, and hurriedly slips out of your front door, and he's off.
You press your hand to your cheek and grin like a loon. Dave just made it really clear that he's not doing anything just because he owes you, and then went and kissed you anyway. He likes you back. That has to be what this means. You punch the air in delight and only suppress cheering and joy because he might still be within hearing range. The euphoria is so strong that it's a wonder you're not barfing rainbows right where you stand. It's hard resisting the temptation to contact Karkat. He knows Dave best, and confirmation from someone else that Dave really does mean what you think he does would be so great. But you know how much he values his privacy, so you restrain yourself.
Just. Thanks for listening. If you want to read ahead, you can find the next chapter here. To get in touch with Unda New Neon, you can follow their Twitter, or ask them questions at their Curious Cat. To get in touch with us, you can follow our Twitter, comment below, or email nerdhilistic@gmail.com. If we had any bonus readers this episode, you can find them at their socials here. And if you make something related to this project, we'd love to feature it, so let us know. Nerdhilistic, taunting the void by celebrating what we love.